Thank you, Professor Joyashree, for your fantastic and thought-provoking keynote at our inaugural Charleston Hub Asia Conference.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. What are your initial thoughts? So you got to speak to our participants, and then there were a lot of engagement. There was great questions. So what are your initial thoughts?
I think it was a fascinating platform for me because this is not the usual kind of conference where I go and where I meet the people who are actually providing us the most useful service of publishing our research, taking it to the readers, to the libraries, and that's how the whole dissemination process goes on. We are happy creating the research, but then we don't know what labor and what technicalities and what thought process goes on for making it to be served for the public. So I really, it was amazing for me to see the vendors a showcase also, because that's how I learned that what is that community is doing for providing the knowledge as a public good. And so that was a good exposure for me. But also I was thinking that how I can connect to this community with my community. So I was thinking as if I'm a representative of my community and I have a responsibility to do something more service for connecting the two communities. So with that, I think when I came here, I was a little worried what will be the impact. But the kind of feedback I'm getting from everyone, it was amazing. That has given me confidence, that has given me courage, and confidence in the sense that, so what I had been thinking that how to connect these two communities is the right thought, which I could pitch in here.
Excellent, because as I was mentioning earlier, libraries and librarians provide an excellent service supporting researchers like you, but we sometimes are not able to connect to the eventual outcome. But through your talk, we were able to connect. So it'll be great for the two communities to come together and connect. Can I ask you a personal question in terms of your own journey? So you have achieved so much, but where does journey start and your passion for climate science? So if you can share, snippets of your life journey, that'll be really helpful.
When in hindsight, I would say, because when you grow up with nature, you think that that's part of you, and you are part of it, right? So you do not see the value of each other for each other's life. But when I moved from Shillong, where I grew up, to Calcutta, I was missing the nature with which I grew up. That was an extremely interesting sorrow, sadness that I was carrying within myself. I realized later. And then I was trained as an economist, and I loved my subject because every day, whatever we are seeing, that's being theorized. That's helping us to understand the reality, how humans behave. I loved it. But when I then did my master's and I was trying to do my PhD, so my supervisor said that, what do you want to work on? So I said that I want to work on something which will be relevant for whole of rest of my life. So he just came back from US. So he gave me a bunch of Xeroxed copy of literature, and he said that this is the new thing which is happening in the world. If you want to do something, you can look into it and try to see whether you find interest in it. Very interesting, Then I found that talks about energy, that talks about environment, that talks about climate. I thought that, wow, this is exactly what I was missing in all my, growing up life and then coming here. So this gives me a field where I can connect myself. And so I took up the energy economics as my field of research. Sure. And I would say that, so just a little bit on my growing up. So we used to forest for everything as our playground, as our relaxation point, morning walks on the dews of the on the grasses. So all these, so it was with us always. So what is the value of that? I realized when I came to Calcutta, because I was missing that. So having that option to live within the nature. Later on, when I started reading environmental economics, we call it option value. So market price, we call it exchange value, but this is option value. And environmental economics expanded the standard market value to other values which people need for their well-being.
Sure.
And those are different spectrum of values. And I think environmental economics gave me that exposure, and my PhD also gave me that. While doing my PhD, so when I read through all those, I saw that it talks about the industrial progress and how industrial progress depends on energy and how energy is coming from nature, and that is also causing problem to the nature. So this was a completely new subject for me, and I thought that, okay, I looked into all other studies, and they were using the industrial statistics of all the other countries. So I thought that, where can I get this? So my supervisor said, there is a library on such and such street. You see that and they generate industrial statistics of India.
Sure.
So one morning, I took up a bus, and then I went. It was pretty far, and crowded bus in Calcutta, you imagine. And I came from Shillong, where I used to walk for
Everywhere.
2 hours, even to my university, right? So I was in a bus, I was feeling sick, but still I went there in the library. When I entered the library, I saw that from floor to the ceiling, the big, thick, fat books are there, right? All bound volumes and everything, and librarian was sitting with a pale face because she had no one around in the library, right? So when I went and I asked her my questions and all, she was surprised to hear from someone, right? A young student coming here, and I used to deck up a lot at that time. So then I went there, and then she said that what she will be doing here, but then she explained to me everything. And then she gave me a stool on which I can stand up and then
grab
pick up
the
books. And then it took, they are fat books like this. I turned pages, I saw that, oh my God, everything is here.
Okay.
This is my food. And then I said that, what time the library opens? She says 9. And at what time it closes? 6. I said, fantastic, 9 to 6, enough time. But then I need all this data for my work. And at that time, you did not get any Xeroxing facility or taking a photo and then, no, right? So what I did, I took big foolscape papers
and just
started copying. Every day morning I was there, every day evening when she used to close the door, I was there. And then she became my friend. And then she wanted to discuss with me at some times that what I'm doing with these. Then she told other officers who create this data about my story, right? And they used to come down to the library. They used to chat with me what I'm doing, what for I'm doing. So it took me a long time, right? And then I used to come to the computer center in the mainframe, used to punch the cards.
Oh, of course, yes.
And do that, and then write the codes to do the whole thing, right? Because there was no application package at that time. So anyway, this is a long story, but what I'm just trying to...
Very fascinating story.
Yeah, no, but then what it carries the moral of the whole thing is that libraries are are, I say, a repository of wisdom, of information, of knowledge, and whatnot. And but they need users.
Yes.
If users are not there, I saw the face of the librarian on the first day, and then I became so good friend of her. And then I had no problem going there. She also, we used to share our lunch and everything. So there is need to be a user and service provider interface. And that finally, again to cut short the whole story, finally these officers who knew me that I'm doing this, then when I did my PhD thesis, then I showed them what I got out of this, and then I published work. So they invited me to speak in their national forum of statisticians, that users' perspective. So how they can improve, what more do we need, and what I have got out of it. And by that time, by those 7-8 years, I knew what is the gap and all. And I got a fantastic forum, just like today.
Okay.
It reminded me of that, you know.
Wow.
So, and then I told them, and then they got the user's perspective. They integrated that with their efforts. And now everything is digitized. And then I was in their steering committee of the Indian Statistical Commission's Industrial Statistics Wing.
Wow.
And then I could take the decision from there. And then I took a decision how to create an environmental data schedule in their whole database, which was not there. And so that was created. So I see my journey from where we can go.
Wow, what a fantastic and fabulous journey. But you know, sheer tenacity of you copying those data sets manually is incredible. And I think I can see the same tenacity because you know, dealing with that climate debate, trying to demystify and you know, break the myth and the other alternative stories which are not peer-reviewed and evidence-based, you need that tenacity because you are questioned on a daily basis. My question is more to the economist in you because you know, there's a lot of sentimental engagement with the climate change situation, and that resonates at a very high level but doesn't go deep. But at the presentation today, I was able to see that how your messaging was cutting through to the audience. So because you were able to convert your arguments based on the value, numbers, data, which actually resonates very well. So how much of that economist in you has helped you in you know, spreading the message around climate change?
One thing I would say that in my personal research and the research with my students and research staff, of course, economics training is helping me, I would say 200%.
Okay.
Because it gives me a lens to see the whole society through what makes people to motivate to do something, what they are doing, and how what they are doing builds the economic activities within the system that gives livelihood, that gives a market, that gives a space for technological production, technology development, industries, agriculture, everything. In a sense, through economic relation, the whole society is built, right? Of course, there are other social issues, anthropological issues, and everything, but then somehow the civilization has grown around the economic rules and all. So that provides me the basic understanding of why something happens and why someone is not accepting, someone is denying, someone is seeing. So some people go beyond that just economic gain, and that's something which we get to see when we work within the IPCC process, where we are working with multidisciplinary teams, and we need to go beyond our disciplines, and then we see that what are the other rationale we need to bring in with the economic rationale, and then we try to see the holistic view of the society. So I think training in any one basic disciplinary area is extremely important.
Okay.
Because in one life you can get training in
one discipline only.
discipline only enough. Huh? But then you need to be very open, very, need to take overview, helicopter view, as well as bottom-up view. So you need to be seeing the grassroots also. So you need to have an helicopter view and the grassroots view.
Well.
And that is something I think in economics, when we study microeconomics and macroeconomics, that tells us this same story. And so that really helps. That helps. But also I would say that the economic discipline is so dynamic, and it has expanded, like environmental economics, ecological economics, institutional economics. Everything helps. But I'm saying that I also stand out from my discipline and see what other disciplines are also saying. And that assimilation is really needed when you are talking of solution space.
Yes.
When we're looking at a problem, the problem doesn't know which
exactly.
discipline it belongs
Yes.
to, right? So we need to find a solution, and solution will be coming from collective discussion. And then
Well, that's a good point,
Yeah.
Professor, because a lot of these problems that we are dealing with now, I mean, SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, talk of 17 issues that global communities, they are multidimensional, multidisciplinary. So having the helicopter view is one thing, but you also have to have translation across disciplines.
Right.
So how have you facilitated IPC is another one where you will be talking to a lot of people from different disciplines. Sometimes you can lose the conversation in translation. So how have you been able to facilitate cross-disciplinary translations, or what's your mantra for success in building those bridges?
My learning is that we should not forget our disciplinary training, because that gives me a very clear lens.
Sure.
And I should listen to someone else and then try to see that actually something which I'm not able to say or explain with my disciplinary lens, they reflect on an aspect which I should also be considering with this, but which is not in contradiction with this. So they are actually making the whole story. You know. Otherwise, I will be telling only one story. But we need to listen to other stories, and you can't be mastering all the stories. So that is where your respect for other disciplines and how you talk, and then you come out of a jargon and try to talk in a communicable language. I think IPCC, working within IPCC process, teaches you that.
Sure.
I mean, through the process, you learn it, you know, so you can't ignore. And then if you are really there for a long time, then you understand that how together we can tell a whole story.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah, so we can't tell the story all by myself.
But that's exactly something I picked up from your talk today, was around, you used the word equity. And, as a lay person, sometimes we believe that everyone shares equally into that, and then there's this equity issue comes in. So would you like to, for our audience, explain from a climate science perspective the difference between sharing the responsibility equally or having that equitable share of the challenge?
So a little bit technically, we always say that equity and equality are two different terms. Equity is where you are providing the space for someone who is laggard in that sense, or someone joined the race of development much later. And someone took it off much earlier. So you need to give the time to the laggard to catch up with the other one, right? Or catch up or take over or take a different path and have the similar kind of outcome. So that's what equity talks about. So, And so it's a different kind of justice you are giving, right? So justice which you could not give earlier. For gender issues, inequity, this is very much, it is said that why the women or the third gender or other categories need to get a privilege now, because if we have acknowledged there is a disadvantage, then how do we make it more for them so that they can faster catch up?
No, excellent. That is great.
Right.
Just concluding on the, because I can talk to you for a very long time, but mindful of time. In terms of what are your ambitions, aspirations, goals? Are you pessimist at the point of where you see the climate debate or change happening, or are you optimist? Or another way of asking this question is, if you had all the power in the world, what would be the 3 changes that you would bring if you were the president of the United States?
Let me be the president of my own discipline.
Let's do that.
Where I am, because this is easier job to do, because I know only this much now. So what I'm just thinking is that basically I'm not a blind optimist. I'm an optimist based on evidence and the scientific analysis. So if we are thinking of better living for myself and for everyone else outside me also, I'm saying this because during pandemic we learned if everybody is suffering, even if you are good in your own room,
already
it makes you suffer. So we want all to be better off, so that we all can have more better time in our lives. So that's a quality of life. So if you want better quality of life for everybody, then we need to see that for our human action, what are the sometimes unintended consequences, negative consequences are happening maybe to the society. And if we understand that, if we know how to sort it out, I think as human beings, we have no other alternative but to do that.
Exactly.
Right? If I don't do that, then I'm a hypocrite. So I don't like hypocrisy. And for that, I think that I'm a very optimist. Every individual is facing the climate change consequences.
Yes.
And they want to protect themselves and their family and friends and everybody. So that's the whole circle, right? And of course, there are always some outliers in the system, but we are 8 billion. If there are outliers, even 1%,
that's statistically insignificant.
I don't see it as a problem if rest of the 8 billion does a collective action. And I think the world is running with the efforts of, as I saw today, the librarians, small vendors to the librarians, the publishers, small, big, large publisher. So this is just not one publisher. So there are so many publishers, so many librarians, so many researchers. They're all working for making a positive impact to the humanity. I don't think this is false, or this is they are doing for their own livelihood. Of course, livelihood. This is our first. If you don't live, then for whom you will work?
Exactly.
Right? So you need to live first. So livelihood first. But then they all are trying to do a positive impact. So I don't think any outlier, no matter how powerful or how big, power is given by this 8 billion also.
Exactly, that's true.
Anytime they can withdraw it,
exactly.
Anytime they can give it, right?
Yes.
So this 8 billion, to me, this all people, as I said, the social actors, right? They are citizens, they are investors, they are professionals, they are role models, they are multiple things they are doing. So you can categorize them in different. So all social actors realize climate change is on us,
Yes.
and we need to just face it because we know how to solve it. If we know how to solve it, why shouldn't I? If I know what is the medicine for my disease,
Yes.
does anyone do not take the
We
medicine?
will be jumping to take the medicine.
That
yes.
will be suicidal. I don't like suicide, right?
Yeah.
So I want to live and thrive and solve the problems. So I'm very optimistic that science is very much clear that what are our problems, but not on the problems.
Yeah.
What is the solution,
Solution.
space?
Yes.
There is a whole big solution space exists. So I would say, as the publishing and the librarians, you have a fantastic role to play to maybe download the IPCC reports,
Sure.
pick up the science out of it, the solution space, and then try to disseminate through different knowledge products in all different kind of media, so that positive knowledge becomes more public. And it's already public knowledge, but not that everybody doesn't have time to go to do that or skill. So make it, servable to all different kind of community. That would be a great service done.
Now, thank you. Thanks a lot for your time. On that positive note, I really would appreciate your time and your clarity of thought on that. As a parent, I'm more confident now listening to you about the brighter future that is ahead of us, and all to science. So thank you, Professor
Thank you
Joyashree.
very much.
Cheers.